going on outside, so I imagine things like the man van will be there for the Wigan match.
Yeah, we're the only game on the Saturday, are we, that weekend as well? So
yeah.
So hopefully, that'll be good, a good opportunity as well for more exposure to the offload program. Okay, brilliant.
Yeah.
That's a thorough roundup of news from around the world of rugby league, rectums and all. We're now going to look back over the Challenge Cup quarterfinals and one game from Super League in the match reviews. Right, so it's match reviews time now, sponsored by Rob's Toy Shop on eBay,
where you can find a wide range of toys, gifts, rugby league birthday cards and more at Rob's Toy Shop on eBay. Visit stores.ebay.co.uk/Rob's Toy Shop, and on any orders over £5 you can earn 5% cash back, and also 1% of your order value will go into the SLP coffers by putting SLP discount at checkout. And if you want to give your 5% to SLP too, you can by messaging Rob's Toy Shop when you make your order.
Yeah, I've noticed some more new stock posts on Rob's Toy Shop's Twitter feed, so check those guys out, and they've got all sorts of stuff. So it's there's a wide range that I'm sure you'll find useful. Challenge Cup quarter-final, Sarah, we've got to do it. We'll do our best to get through it quickly for mine and yours sake, but no, we'll give all the games a good airing because they were all interesting in different ways. Maybe the least interesting, might be fair to say, was the Thursday night game, which we'll start with, which was Huddersfield versus Catalan. It finished 20 points to 6 to the Catalan side. It was only 4-0, 2 penalties in the first half, in front of a meagre 251 people, one cowbell and Gareth Hewer as the referee. Do you want to take us away with the first of the match reviews?
Yep, Karsten says, that first half was terrible, utter rubbish. The best thing was the warm welcome to Kenny Edwards. The second half could only be better. But how can this video ref award the Huddersfield... How this video ref awarded the Huddersfield try left me speechless. Hashtag can't speak. Hashtag fuck the cowbell. Hashtag and the trumpet.
Well, fuck the cowbell with the trumpet. Yeah, we'll get... I felt like I could have given... I'd got a new nickname for Kenny Edwards. I was going to call him the moral vacuum of rugby league, but since Wigan players' antics, that came to...
Yeah, people in glass houses.
Yeah, but there you go. Tiffany G Radio said, Liberté, Égalité, Penalty.
Alan Walker says, missed it, too much work. Who won it? Grosse défense avec notamment Tony Giger. However bad we are with stupid Coach Steves, there are many worse teams in the not-so-Super League. I reckon we might get 7th, it's so bad. From Huddersfield to Bolton, oh, the glamour. I'll stay in Catalonia. Hashtag swim with fish.
That swim with the fish normally means like the mob's going to knock someone off. I'm a bit scared now that Alan Walker's going to see to someone over there in Catalonia.
Well, it's a slaughterhouse visit, obviously, and now they're swimming with the fish.
Malkarma Tios says, midweek madness, kit karma, everybody change kits again. Coach Karma, Giants do better with Coach on Skype, not in the stadium. Why not poach Steve? No, seriously, poach Steve, please.
Brian Davis says, was watching the World Cup of Darts waiting for the rugby to start. China had a lass in their team who'd have struggled to make my old pub side. This Challenge Cup match was only marginally of a higher standard. Hashtag Wolford out, ?
Phil Nadine said, not a great game really. Huddersfield just didn't look dangerous in attack, defended reasonably well, but with too many errors and probably a couple of 50-50 calls not going their way, it wasn't going to be their night.
The real Tom Crook. Allez, allez, allez. Les Cats marched to a glorious victory over the lacklustre Giants. C'est notre année. If they win the semi, Emma gets a weekend in London. Hashtag good fiance.
I've got an asterisk next to that real part of that. Rich Langley said, ding, 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 Catalan's penalty. Ding, 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 Catalan's penalty. Ding, ding, Giants try. Ding, 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 Catalan's try. Ding, ding, Catalan's try. Ding, Catalan's penalty. Ding, 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 Catalan's try. Ding, ding, ding.
I think you missed a ding out there.
I need to get a cowbell noise, don't I, to put into the show to just play in the background during all the Huddersfield reviews, just to make the Giants fans feel like they're at home.
Yeah, those ratings of Super League Pod might go down.
Well, they can't go much further down at the moment, Sarah. Which is a subtle hint to everyone. If you're listening, this is the point where you go to your podcast player and you click share and get it on your Twitter, get it on your Facebook, get it on whatever social media you have. But who's the next one?
Paul Max 78 says, hard to tell what was more annoying, the cowbell or Catalan's players lying down for penalties. Bird won his battle of the gobshites over Brough, as did Catalans in the forward battle with Cassie and Mo were impressive. Drinkwater's kicking game was decent, and SL fans got the full Kenny Edwards experience. For us, Seb and Jerry were good, and it was good to see Kudja back. Both clubs will avoid relegation on tonight's evidence.
POB 1976 said, not the best of games with Catalan just doing enough to win. Poor game to watch.
Mark W says, genuine candidate for the worst game I've seen. Giants offered nothing, but Catalans were only interested in cheating and diving and were allowed to do so consistently for the first 75 minutes. Between the conversion that never was, bottled cards that were far worse than Bruffy's, and neither side having an active attacking skill, it's 80 minutes I'm happy to pretend never happened. Let us never speak of it again.
I'm afraid we're going to speak of it for 5 minutes or so, Mark, to make sure we cover everything off. What was your take on this one on Thursday night?
It was just a dull match, wasn't it? It was, and you get to half time where it's 4-0, and that could have meant it was a really exciting game, really good defence. But it didn't seem to mean that at all. And you think, well, the second half's got to get better. And there were some tries, but standard was still really poor, I thought.
Yeah, do you know what? I'm going to buck the trend a little bit here. I actually thought the first half wasn't that terrible, other than the fact that both attacks weren't really clicking. But the physical intensity of that first half, I think if it was a big atmosphere, and there was lots of noise to go along with the collisions, I think we might have seen it a bit differently, because I actually think it was a pretty physical first half. Tony's ego, making sure everyone was aware he got hit round the face aside, I feel like it was a physically intense first half, and I actually enjoyed the first half as a neutral, just because of that. I wasn't necessarily wanting free-flowing, glorious rugby in every cup game that I see. I like a bit of physicality in the games as well, and the first half for me offered that. I do think Danny Brough's sin bin was more than justified. He basically throttled Kenny Edwards. Not that it, there should have been some mitigation in the fact that it was on the moral vacuum, but that aside, I do genuinely think that was the right call. The other, he's got a 2-match penalty notice for that one. I'm not sure. Yeah. I'm not sure how much has played into the fact that he's got a pretty terrible disciplinary record of late, of a number of years, Danny Brough. I'm not sure how much that plays into it, but I do feel that Huddersfield defended really well through that period. The only points they conceded was the 2 points, from a penalty near the start of the half, and 2 points from a penalty near the end of the half. And in the sin bin period, they didn't concede anything at all, partly due to poor attack and Greg Bird being off the field, who, even though he's a forward, seems to be the impetus around a lot for the Dragons. I can't remember this incident in the second half that a lot of people are talking about, where there was a tackle on Cruz Leeming. Can you remember that at all?
No,
so we can't really add to that. It skipped my mind. I do think the sin bin in for Benjamin Garcia again was a fair sin bin. It's a shame that we've seen the cannonball return a little bit over the weekend in that one, and the one from Thomas Lulawai.
Yeah, that was a bad one, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Well, it could have been a bad one.
No further action, because they've said whilst it was a late low tackle, it was essentially with the bend of the knees, so less likelihood of causing an injury. I'd have preferred to see both Garcia and Lulawai get a 1-game penalty notice on those, but there you go. I don't make the rules. The second half, we did see some more tries, but the first one of those tries, which was the one awarded to the Huddersfield Giants, in my opinion, was utterly ludicrous. Now, I don't know what your feelings on this are, Sarah, but I think if the on-field match officials get something wrong, I can completely understand that. When the video referee doesn't see that a ball carrying arm and momentum has stopped, and there's a defending player in contact with him, even if it wasn't led on top of him, but it was led against him, it's still contact with him as far as I understand it. When a video referee gets a call wrong, I find that harder to justify. I don't know what you feel.
Yeah, totally. You don't mind the on-field officials making mistakes because, you know, the game's moving, it's fast, everything else. But as you say, when it goes up to the video ref, and I didn't even think it was particularly debatable. You know, once it had been shown sort of once through, you think, well, it's...
I'd have thought it was one look. No, he was tackled, and then there wasn't much else in the second half. Even though, like you say, there were tries, there wasn't much else to get excited about. I'm sorry that I can't remember that Cruz Leeming incident. If I'd have had more time before the show, I would have gone back and found it to watch it, but I couldn't. It wasn't even cited in the disciplinary, so I couldn't see what minute of the match it was alleged to have occurred, which meant I would have struggled to go back, and I wasn't going to sit through all of that second half again. And I'm sure everyone can forgive anyone for not wanting to do that. I imagine both the Catalan Dragons and Huddersfield Giants have pretty much thrown it in the bin, even though they're going to play each other again.
Yeah, I must say, actually, for all that I thought that one should have been disallowed, I thought that the disallowing the Brough try for the obstruction was a harsh one.
Right, okay.
I felt that actually the defensive player still made it to the... Was it that he made it to him?
Yeah, well...
But
I see what... I mean, they did create a big lane there that gave him the momentum to burst through, but I wouldn't have had a huge objection to that one going the other way, but I did see a slight obstruction there. I don't think it would have changed the outcome either at that stage.
It was 10 minutes to go.
That's correct, yeah. None of the tries even stood out as being that exciting. I mean, Greg Birds was pretty weak defending to let that guy do that step and dive over with quite a lot of space. And the David Mead try was the one where was it Darnell McIntosh didn't really deal with a kick, which I think is a weakness in his game. Something he needs to address if he wants to get more game time when, as rumoured, Huddersfield are bringing in another winger from the NRL next year in Aquila Uarte. So
McIntosh didn't have a great game with the kicks, did he?
No, and I think that's the one area that I've seen him slip up on a few too many times. His concentration isn't always great when the ball's in the air, I don't feel. But he's got a lot of talent, so hopefully that's something that Simon Wolford will be able to address, even if his coaching over Skype, as alluded to in the reviews, seems better than his coaching in real life. Okay, do you have anything else you want to add, or shall we do the stats?
Let's do the stats.
Okay, helpfully, the R League app does the stats, or some limited stats, on the Challenge Cup games, which the RFL website doesn't do. So I've got some team stats for you all here. Huddersfield went under 1,000 metres, so not going to win really very often. Catalan's had over 1,300 metres and had a better average gain. Huddersfield had a better tackle success rate, but made more than 100 more tackles than Catalan. That having to make more tackles was mostly self-inflicted, with 11 penalties to 10 conceded and 16 errors to 9 made. So a lot of handling errors from the Giants in a clunky attacking performance, if you can call that a performance from them. So they lost the game on merit. I think Catalan were the better side, even though no one can hold their heads up too fully high on this one. Okay. Friday night's game. Bit of controversy in this one as well, with some red cards that we'll get to. Leeds Rhinos 52, Leeds Centurions 22. The obligatory game at the Post Office Road in Featherstone, here in front of 3,277. Chris Kendall was the referee. It was pretty much done at half time with a 40-12 scoreline at that stage. We'll talk about the red cards soon. Do you want to first take us through the fan reviews?
Yeah. So Carsten said, Lee started perfect, but an over-motivated red card took all their chances. The rest of the game was what I expected. Jimmy Kay with a try and an injury was like a laughing and a crying eye. The fans of Lee showed why that club shouldn't be in Super League. Turtle dickheads. Abusing the ref should be reason enough to ban these idiots.